Hey guys, welcome to BitBoy Crypto. I am your host, BitBoy. Today, we're going to be talking about VeChain. People have been calling it vescam. Is it a scam? Is another project maybe behind all of this FUD? And we're going to look at a lot of things to do with this ongoing saga. But before we go any further, make sure you are a subscriber to our channel and also hit the bell for notifications. And then you are a part of the Bit Squad. As a member of the Bit Squad, you have the opportunity to win $500 in Ethereum and merch this month and next month. Like and comment on this video and all of our other videos during these months to get your maximum number of entries. Also, it's my birthday today, and I figured what better way, yes, that's right, on my birthday, I'm making a video for you. I figured what better way to start my birthday than with a controversial VeChain video. Okay, guys, so let's just unpack all of this. Okay, first, I think it's very important that we talk about the word scam. What is a scam? Well, if you look this word up on Google and get the dictionary.com answer, the long and the short of what it says is it means a fraud or deceptive practice. Now, those are two possibly totally different things. Someone can do a deceptive practice, but it not indicate a larger fraud. Now, of course, if someone does a full fraud that could be, subject to penalty of law, then of course that would consist of a deceptive practice. So people would probably say this to me. They would say, BitBoy, words matter. So it's very important when you're discussing this that you understand what a scam is. However, I would also like to say culture matters. So in our crypto culture, we have a whole set of words that mean totally different things than what they mean in real life, if you will, right? Whale, we're not talking about a whale. We're talking about someone who has a lot of money. Moon, we're not talking about an interstellar body. We're talking about the price of crypto going up. And I think it's important to understand when people are talking about a scam in cryptocurrency, this is what I believe that they mean. A practice meant to steal money from people and leave them high and dry. That to me is what a scam is. We look at something like a Ponzi scheme, like BitConnect, or we look at some of these projects that exit scammed over the last several months, where all of a sudden one day they're there and the next day they're gone. To me, that is a scam in crypto. I think if any project is doing shady marketing practices, which is really what all of this VeChain FUD amounts to, that I don't think as a crypto culture we would call that a scam. Now, if the product itself was not what they made it out to be and eventually they were going to exit, to me, that would be a true scam. So I do believe that a lot of stuff, as most of you know who are probably watching this video, most of this seemed to come from Chico Crypto. However, there are some articles going further back, all the way back to November, centering around this same situation, coming from Edward Pumps. He writes on Medium and has different kind of social media accounts and things like that. He actually wrote about a lot of the stuff Chico's been talking about way back in November of last year. And then, of course, many of the screenshots that Chico uses in his arguments come directly from Edward Pumps being involved in some of these Telegram groups. Okay? So while this goes back a lot further, I do not believe that it is VeChain's intention as a cryptocurrency project to leave their people high and dry or to under-deliver the platform that they're promising. So I'd like to say that at the very outset of this video, that I do not believe, after all of this evidence that Chico has submitted, that VeChain is a scam. However, I do think that he has shown that there have been some deceptive practices by at least Jackson Fu, who is in charge of Cream, which is one of VeChain's biggest, if not, well, I would argue their biggest strategic partner. He has his hands on a lot of their ICOs, and he basically has done some things where he's tried to hype up coins, dump coins, spread rumors about other projects, could be possibly accused of trying to perform pump and dumps. Of course, the issue here is that Cream is a United States company, so if the U.S. government ever decided to open an investigation into this, there could be some penalties. So I believe that there are some deceptive practices that have occurred. Now, here's where I would like to refer to something that is called the Chewbacca defense. The Chewbacca defense is in a a trial. It's the defense's strategy to, instead of refuting the actual evidence that is presented, they just present this whole different confusing case. And then at the end, they're like, see, told you, even though it doesn't necessarily have that much to do with the original argument. So if the original argument is VeChain a scam, I would have to say, as I've already mentioned, it's not. But all of this information that Chico has been given and has been spreading out on his website, blockchainleaks.io, it is meant to confuse the VeChain investor. Now, what is the point of that confusion? Is it so they no longer invest? Is it so that the price goes down of VeChain and maybe one of these projects that Chico likes goes up? I'm not really sure. I can't really say that. There have been accusations, and I would point out these are only accusations, and I have nothing to actually base this on, which in a lot of Chico's videos, he does this as well. But there are accusations that are going around social media that somehow Elastos is behind this. And I know Chico is in hot and heavy with Elastos. He's been out, to visit them. He's had a personal one-on-one interview in person with Rong Chen. But I have to believe, I like Elastos. I have to believe that Elastos is not behind this. But maybe there are some people from their community that are helping to dig up some information. I'm just not really sure. So ultimately, I would like to say VeChain is not a scam. And I also believe that Elastos is not at least directly behind all of these rumors. Now, the rumors revolve around Jackson Fu, as I said, and Cream. And one other rumor, though, that Chico brings up is that Sunny Lu was doing insider trading. Now, there is one snippet that he puts on the screen on one of his articles where it is a quote from Sunny Lu. It seems to actually be from him. He's the CEO of VeChain. And I would have to see that whole conversation in context to really understand exactly what he's talking about. But even if he is actually saying he's buying and selling VeChain on the open markets, it's an unregulated market, guys. So I don't, can you insider trade on an unregulated market? It certainly doesn't look good. But once again, I would go back to the fact that none of this has to do with the product itself. Now, the closest accusation that I can find that would seem to indicate that there is an overpromise, underdelivered aspect of VeChain would be where Chico brings up many of the partnerships that VeChain supposedly has and questions a lot of those partnerships. Now, we've seen this with other projects, those guys. I mean, I'm not saying it's 100% okay, but it's a marketing strategy. Look at what Tron just did with Baidu. They said they're a partner, and then Baidu was like, yeah, a partner if you mean we're buying things from you, or you're buying things from us. Yeah, we have a business relationship, but they're not technically partners. That's what BMW, the issue with the BMW partnership is that BMW came out on their Twitter and were like, well, technically we're not officially partners. And then Sunny Lu later on would say in a Telegram group that basically he thought that he wanted the VeChain people to leave BMW alone, to quit asking about it. To me personally, what I believe about that situation is there is a larger BMW and VeChain partnership. It hasn't fully materialized yet. Or maybe they're working towards some of the same goals and eventually they will fully be partners. Not really sure, but I think that's probably the situation with many of their partnerships is they're getting out and they're hyping it up, which is what you want teams to do. We've seen the Nano subreddit absolutely destroy their community for not marketing their project that way. So I don't think that really is a good argument against VeChain either. I think here is the proof in the pudding right here. The product. What is the product? What is the platform? What quality are these ICOs going to be that eventually come out on the platform? And we just don't know that yet, guys. But we don't know that about any projects, right? How many projects do we have working dApps on yet that people are actually using? Very, very, very few. And because of that, we can't judge whether VeChain is a scam or whether it's a crap project or whatever it might be until we actually see all these things come out. And it's going to be a while before we're able to make that determination. And so ultimately, I think that much of this against VeChain has been straight up FUD that has actually revealed some deceptive practices, but ultimately do not result in VeChain being a scam. If I was a VeChain investor which I have owned at certain times, but I've traded out of. I do not currently hold any VeChain, but I would like to say, if I were heavily invested in VeChain, so far what I've seen would not bother me at all. I haven't seen anything that makes me think that my investment will not eventually yield returns. And VeChain is kind of saying the same thing about Cream. They're saying, even though all of this has came out over the last couple of weeks, we still believe in Cream and have faith in Cream because they just signed a memorandum of understanding with Cyprus between VeChain, Cream, and Cyprus. So they don't show any signs of backing off of Jackson Fu and Cream. I think Jackson Fu needs to slip back into the shadows a little bit, would probably be his best practice right now. But that's all I got on this, guys. That is my thought. Verdict: VeChain, not a scam. VeChain does do some deceptive practices, some deceptive marketing practices. That would be my ultimate takeaway from this. And like I said, I personally, of course, this is not financial advice. It may all fall apart tomorrow and be revealed to be the next BitConnect. I don't think it'll happen. But if it did, just remember, do your own research. This is my research on the issue, and I wanted to share it with you guys because a lot of people have been asking me in the comments. So I did a little video where I talked about it in one segment, but I wanted to make a whole video so I get all my thoughts out on it, where we're at right now currently. So that's all I got. Thanks, guys. Remember, it's my birthday, so please don't drop me dislikes. We'll talk to you later. BitBoy out.